Peace and greetings, everyone. This is Ras Timotheos. I'm here speaking again on the video. In this video, let's speak a little bit about awareness and knowledge. According to our ancient sciences, according to our ancient ancestry, and other things like that involving our ancient histories, we understood knowledge as something coming from the mind, something based on thoughts. So, in order to know, one must have had some type of awareness of something. So, when we speak on spiritual knowledge, in order for our ancient, ancestors to have knowledge of spiritual things, or things related to the spirit, metaphysical concepts. In order for our ancestors to even know these things, they must have had some type of awareness of things that which extended beyond the ordinary, linear, materialistic understanding of the world. So, to be aware means to be conscious, or to be conscious means to be aware. And this involves perception, and perception is based on experience and observation, and the reflection upon that experience. So in order to know anything, one must perceive it and be aware of it, and experience and observe it, and then also have the ability to reflect on that which they have observed or experienced. So, which gives you an understanding of what it means to be sentient. Now, this word sentient, it sounds like a big word, but it's where you get the understanding of knowledge, or even awareness. So, I'm going to read a definition of sentient out of this encyclopedic dictionary. It's show it again, sorry. It's a lexicon dictionary, Webster Lexicon Dictionary of Columbia University. And let's see here. Sentient. Okay, sentient. Sentience, the state of being sentient, the capability for perceiving or feeling consciousness without having thought. So, sentient comes from the Latin sentiens, or sentientis, of sentio, meaning to perceive. So, sentient means capable of perceiving or feeling, having the faculty of perception, consciousness, something or someone who is sentient, their perceptive or conscious mind. So, by that definition, we already understand that sentience means consciousness, or that which one can feel or perceive. So, perception is either based on the awareness of things which are physical, or things which are non-physical. So, to know anything, you must be sentient. You must be able to be aware and have feeling. And this sentience just means it's beyond thought. So, in order to know anything, you have to be aware of something which extends beyond your thinking faculty in order for you to think of it. So, when we perceive things, we have what is known as the sense organs, and these sense organs allows us to interact and perceive, observe, and reflect on the material world, as well as the immaterial world, or the non-physical world. According to our ancient sciences, these non-physical worlds were described in terms which allowed us to relate to these non-physical things in a better way. So, for example, the physical things, such as the air, the water, the lights, day and night, the gravel, the soil. These things our ancient ancestors knew were not things made by human hands at all. Obviously, these things came from the universe or some type of higher power other than human hands. Our ancestors called these things natural or of nature, meaning things that are produced naturally, things that come into existence naturally, and things that we can be aware of naturally. Um, so, the trees, the plants, the animals, the air, the water, light, um, uh, the darkness as well, gravel, the soil, the earth in general, not made by human hands. And when you question yourself, where do these things come from, you realize that obviously the trees, the animals, the plants, the water, the air, things like that, all these things um, exist from the universe and actually make up the part of our being, like makes up who we are, makes up our own existence. Um, and then you have non-natural or artificial um, things, or artificial things in which one can know, or things which one can be aware of. And these man-made things include houses, cars, clothes, machines, buildings, tools, or things just made by human hands. Now, human beings in general, in and of itself, are not made by human hands because they are part of nature, something that exists naturally, something that comes into the existence or manifests from the universe, the higher powers, and not by human hands. Um, so, where ask yourself the question: where do the non-natural things come from? And then ask yourself, well, where do natural things come from? And this whole question is based on one's awareness, one's consciousness, one's state of perception. Either one is perceiving in a materialistic mode of perception, or one is perceiving in a non-material, non-physical, incorporeal manner. So all these things are based on awareness or perception and facts of an experience which involves observation, analyzation by the mind. So the facts of an experience or of these things is called exist. It has to be, in order for anything to be a fact, it has to exist. Well, in order to exist means to be in being, or to have a form, to be in some type of manner in which to perceive. Now, our sense organs can perceive things in a subtle or very gross form. So, for example, we can perceive things like certain sounds um, may come to us very silently or very quiet, but other sounds may be loud and up close. This is just a form of one's perceptive faculties. Something that may be up close to your ear, but it may not be so loud, while other things may be far away but really really loud. So this is based on perception, and the mode in which one is aware. So one can be aware of subtle things that which exist beyond the physical senses and still be able to perceive, analyze, and understand. But the point I'm trying to make here is that in order for something to be a fact, it has to exist in being. So in order for something to exist in being, it is either physical or non-physical, because you can have non-physical things, and you can have non-physical things, like the mind, for example. The mind is a non-physical thing, but it exists. Okay, so either physical or non-physical. Therefore, our physical body is physical, but our mind, in the essence of the mind, therefore is non-physical. Now, according to our ancient sciences, our ancestors called these things which are non-spiritual, non-physical, we call these things spirits or spiritual, because spirit comes from the word espirit or espirite, which essentially means breath or energy, vigor. So Our ancestors understood that the things in nature come from an energy, a subtle force, the breath of life, and rather the non-natural things or artificial things were essentially non-living things. They're man-made things, houses, cars, machines, buildings, tools, things like that. These things obviously are not living things, rather they are produced by living things, essentially human beings. Um, but so we have facts which have to be in existence or based on being, and so they could either be physical or non-physical. So in order to know anything, one must have awareness. So you could either have the awareness of things that are physical, or you can have the awareness of things that are non-physical, i.e. spiritual, in the sense of our ancestors. So therefore, all facts, any fact is it's either corporal, that which has a body, or incorporeal, that which does not have a body. Corporal meaning from the word corpse, meaning body or flesh. So um, to exist or existence means to be or to manifest. Now, um, where do things come from? Where do things manifest from? And according to the Temple of Divine, which is based off of, see, the Temple of Divine is Native American temple, so we base our sciences off of um, ancestral knowledge or past history of the ancients, which is called mystery, mysticism, mystic, and there's many different terms that are used and are based off of the ancient sciences, and just different forms of this knowledge, because like I said, that in order to have knowledge or awareness of something, there must be facts or state of being, something in existence, in order for you to perceive and analyze and reflect and observe. So to be means to manifest. Now, this goes back to the original question: where do these things come from? To be. Where do these things manifest from? And according to the ancient sciences, natural things manifest from the mind. All things manifest from the mind. The cosmos, the universe, is another word for mind. Man is another word for mind. The divine mind is what is used in the Temple of Divine to refer to that which most people consider God, or something that created the universe. And from my perspective, it's not necessarily speaking about a man creating the universe or anything, but more so a higher powers which extends beyond the initial physical awareness of man. So that which then creates or brings itself into being in order for us to be able to perceive and observe it. So according to the metaphysics, the metaphysical understanding of this is that we are able to perceive things and experience things, have awareness due to the mind, but the mind essentially is God indwelling. That is the science of the metaphysical science of the temple. Is the fact of the matter is that see, and when we use certain words like fact of the matter, matter is material. Fact is what? To exist or to come into existence. So just the language that we use in our society today, and all societies today, are very materialistic, are very it's a lot of it is based off of the whole rational mind, and a lot of the sciences that came after the ancient sciences, and which pretty much entails like well, the physical sciences, like yeah, the physical sciences, physics, astrophysics. These things do not extend beyond the physical understanding of things. So in order to have a broader understanding of the life that we live in, according to the Temple of Divine and the ancient sciences, we should be trying to gain awareness or knowledge about things which extend beyond the physical, ordinary, linear awareness of things. And when we do this, we are then tapping into the life force energy. We are tapping into the trees, the plants, the animals, the light, the darkness, the water, the gravel, the soil, the earth. So when we actually tap into these higher powers, we are becoming who we are, instead of going to these non-natural, living things to get our knowledge. We would realize that the knowledge already exists within us, and it's based on opening yourself up to that existence in order to get those facts. So therefore, you know, the in order to know anything, specifically spiritual knowledge, you have to open your mind to the spiritual facts or the spiritual reality that which exists. If you are just contemplating on the physical reality, trying to find spiritual things, you're only limited to that physical experience and that physical observation, as well as the physical reflection and the analyzation of the physical reality. And you're not allowing your mind to extend beyond that physical barrier, that corporal existence. So when dealing with the knowledge of self, and learning about who you are and who we are in general as the universe, one must extend their mind beyond the earth. One must extend their mind beyond the physical things of the universe in general, and ponder the question on where does the cosmos come from? Where does the universe come from? Because if we know houses, buildings, cars, clothes, machines, tools all come from man-made things, well, where does the stars in the sky come from, right? So in order to perceive these things, in order to have awareness of these things, one must raise their consciousness. One must raise their thought level, their perception, their level of perception, to a more subtle level in order for them to obtain any type of awareness or knowledge about these things. And this is the basic science of the ancients, of our ancient ancestors. And on top of this, we live our lives, our day-to-day lives, in a materialistic world, needing things. And a lot of these things are just based off of our limited perception. We think that we need certain things in order to live. Where, matter of fact, if you look at the way the universe is structured, the laws and principles which governs the universe, which are unchangeable, these things create existence, life, being, and life can only create life. So when one goes within themselves to find the life within themselves, they are essentially tapping into that higher power of the trees, the plants, the airs, the stars, the planets, and everything else that exists within the cosmos. But specifically, the principle that caused things to exist, which, according to the Temple Divine, the metaphysical understanding, is the mind of the universe, which then is within man. The mind of the universe is within man. Man is the highest creation of the mind in the universe. So, therefore, plants, animals, trees, the air, the water, light, the dark, the gravel, the soil, the earth, all these things are a product of basically principalities of who you are in general. It's a product of who you are, revealed by the ancestors, revealed by our ancient folk who gave us this understanding of the higher powers which exist on earth and within us, coming from the universe. We have most of the elements that create or that make up our physical being, the matter, the elements, the atoms that make up our physical being, do not come from earth. They're not made by humans. They're not made by human hands. So all these things come from the cosmos, from a mind. It comes from a source that which can produce a living breathing sentient thing, that which can produce more breathing sentient things. And human beings happen to be the highest form of that which is created out of these principalities, the elements. Now, if you know the scientific understandings of the names, ancient names, element, El means God. So the elements, La, isn't La the form of El in those languages, right? So La is the feminine form of El. So you have element, right? Ment means the process of or being able to produce. So element, God producing, or God coming into manifestation. And one thing, our ancestors did not use the name God. Um, God is a newer translation based on an ancient, a little bit more ancient version of something that was taken from our ancestors and then switched around. So then some people think that God is some type of man or something like that. Rather, God is a great spirit. It's called the Great Spirit. That which exists within all living things. It exists within all living, breathing, sentient, conscious entities. So as man, we are the highest form of God, Yah, the divine mind, the cosmic mind, the mind of the cosmos, in manifestation on earth. So when we gain knowledge and awareness according to our perception, when we lift our perception to the realm of spiritual things, to the realm of living things, then we essentially dissolve the boundaries between our limited corporal consciousness and our ancestral birthrights, and the knowledge and awareness of who we are. As far as our natural birthrights, being born into this world is not just coming into existence. You have to realize that we existed before coming into the physical existence, because existence only can create existence. Life can only create life. So with our ancient understandings, we are already alive before we came into the physical manifestation. The trees existed before they became trees. The air existed before it became air. It just didn't exist in that form. So it is our duty to raise our level of awareness to the things and the knowledge and awareness that our ancestors had, which allowed them to live in harmony, which allowed them to live in perfect affinity with the earth, i.e., natural environment. Natural, the nature of being is life. One's nature of being is spirit. One's nature of being is sentience, awareness, consciousness, mind. Man is mind. The universe is mind. So when man realizes himself as the universe within, he realizes the power, this power that which the universe is a product of. So with this video, I just wanted to share this information, or this it's more so of I'm trying to help others to get the understanding of how one can go about trying to understand religion, mythology, spirituality, all of these things, in which is now it's now like, okay, for example, all of these sciences, from spirituality, religion, arts, and history, and sociology, politics, physics, chemistry, biology, all of these things come from one knowledge, one understanding. And over time, these things became broken up. And now you have to go to this place to learn this, and you have to go over there to learn this, and it's no longer holistic. Our ancient ancestors knew that every science, whether it's math, history, or anything, it all goes together. It's all part of one science. And if you're not studying this metaphysical science, then you're just basing your awareness, your consciousness is in a limited form. You cannot perceive beyond that limited structure. And the cosmos has its structure because of the higher power in which it is made out of. So therefore, anything that has natural structure has spiritual structure. It has living structure. It breathes. It exists. It continues and grows. Whereas if you have certain type of knowledge that does not grow, that is just something that you keep in your mind, that's not necessarily knowledge. That's just something you're keeping in your mind. Rather, knowledge is something that allows you to grow, because it's knowledge comes from something that grows. It comes from the mind. It comes from thoughts. And your mind and your thoughts are something that is able to produce and able to grow and able to become something in this world. So all of you guys that have sat through this video and have watched any other video on this channel, I greatly appreciate it. Share it, comment, you know, share it with others. This knowledge, this understanding, this awareness must be something that our peoples, coming from the ancient ancestors, in order to gain our birthright, we must know these things. We must know the knowledge our ancient ancestors carried, and that they lived from. So, without speaking any more on this subject, thank you for watching this video, and see you in the next one. Peace.